Mom said, "Your sister deserves your bonus. She's struggling." When I refused to send $11,000, they bombarded me with 19 texts. That night, I sold everything, blocked them all, and moved to Portugal. By morning, 92 missed calls and 4 emails from their lawyer. Imagine spending your entire life being the family safety net, the one they always called to fix their messes, only to find out they didn't just expect your hard-earned bonus. They felt absolutely entitled to it. That's when I finally drew a line. And let me tell you, saying no to family, truly saying no, can feel like you're dismantling your entire world. My name is Max. I'm 31, the oldest, the reliable one who files everyone's taxes and remembers the Wi-Fi passwords. I write what most people would call boring code for a payment company and squirrel away my paychecks like my future depends on it. Because it does. I barely drink. I run at night. I have an Excel sheet for everything. In my family, I'm the stable one, which is just a nicer way of saying I'm the one who fixes it when things inevitably break. Then there's my sister, Lena. She's 27, and she's bright in this incredibly loud, effervescent way. Huge laugh, dramatic gestures, big, often unrealistic ideas. She jumps from job to job faster than you can scroll through an app feed. When she calls, it's always a 2-minute promise. But an hour later, I'm Venmoing her because her card randomly declined. My dad retired early, and now he just watches sports with the TV volume cranked louder than a jet engine. And my mom? She keeps the peace by gracefully avoiding the truth and telling everyone exactly what they want to hear, especially Lena. Sunday dinner at my parents' place is a ritual. Meatballs, garlic bread, a prayer that always feels too long. I show up with a sensible salad because, well, I'm me. The table's already set when I walk in. Dad's on the couch, yelling at a referee on screen. Lena's at the kitchen island, scrolling through her phone like it owes her money. Mom hugs me. She always smells like laundry detergent and rosemary. We eat, pushing fake small talk past the dishes. I was halfway through my second meatball when Mom cleared her throat. She folded her napkin with this almost ceremonial precision, like she was about to deliver a sermon. "Your sister deserves your bonus," she said. My fork paused midair. She added, "She's struggling." I glanced at Dad. He didn't even look up. Lena put on that soft voice I know all too well, the one that makes my skin crawl. "It's just until next month," she said, all innocent. "My apartment wants an additional deposit." "Stupid policy." "It's not policy," Dad muttered, finally. "It's because you were late twice." Mom cut him a sharp look. Then she turned back to me, her gaze pinning me. 11,000. You have it. She needs it. Family helps family. I stared at the red sauce on my plate. My chest tightened, the way it does right before I hit a steep hill on a run. On the wall, there's this old picture of the three of us at the beach, Dad sunburned, Lena holding a kite, me in a hat that was definitely too small. I felt 12 again. Sensible. Boring. Useful. Lena leaned forward, her voice a little brighter now. "Maxie, you got that bonus for, like, fixing fraud or whatever. You barely even celebrate. Let me know." "No," I said. "Just that. A clean word." It landed on the table like a dropped glass, shattering the quiet. Mom's lips pressed into a thin line. "Don't be dramatic." Dad finally looked over, a frown creasing his forehead. "It's a loan. It's a no." I repeated, my voice clearer this time. And I could feel the air in the room change, thinning and sharpening, like the house itself had suddenly tilted to an angle I'd never noticed before. In my family, you don't just say no. You say it, and then you get a round of revisions. When I was 18, I worked nights at a grocery store, and my first paycheck went to Lena for a graphing calculator because Mom said hers got lost. In college, I skipped spring break to wire 3 months' rent when Dad's consulting check was held up. When Lena wanted to switch majors one last time, I covered the extra fees. It was always temporary. It was always urgent. And it was always me. I'm not a hero. I'm a spreadsheet with legs. I kept doing it because it was easier than fighting, and because somewhere deep down, I believed that if I kept paying, one day, I'd finally be seen as more than just a wallet. I pictured a future where they said thank you in a way that truly stuck. Then I got the bonus. Mid-year, we'd stopped this huge fraud ring. My manager said, "Nice job, Max." HR said direct deposit on Friday. I didn't post about it. I moved a big chunk to savings and another to a brokerage account I'd playfully named Portugal. It was a private joke, a tab in my brain labeled someday. After dinner, I put on coffee while Mom rinsed plates. "This is a family crisis," she whispered, her voice low against the running water. "Lena could be evicted. In April," I said, a little too dryly. "She wasn't paying rent because she was in Tulum. She was networking," Mom insisted, as if networking meant infinite mimosas and swan-shaped pool floats. Lena appeared in the doorway then, phone in hand. "Max, listen. The deposit is just, it's a show of good faith. They see the funds. They chill." Dad turned up the TV volume. "It's 11 grand, not a kidney. It's 11 grand. I said, louder than I meant to. The coffee machine choked and sputtered. "Why is it always me?" Mom's face went stiff. "Because you can. That's why God gives more to some, so they can help." I felt something sour crawl up my throat. God didn't sign her lease. Lena's eyes flashed. I'm trying, okay? I had 2 interviews this week. You left one halfway through to take a call. I shot back, remembering her telling me about it like it was funny. And the other, you asked for remote from day one. That's normal now, she snapped. You're ancient enough. We're not doing this, Mom cut in. I thought we were done. We weren't. Monday, 7:18 a.m. I woke to a text from Mom. We'll need the transfer by Friday. No question mark. Then Lena. Can you just Z it in chunks if that's easier? Like 3K, 3K, 5K. A calendar invite popped up from Mom, titled Security Deposit Family. I didn't accept it. At lunch, Dad called. Your mother's stressed. Be a good son. Being a good son isn't the same as being a quiet wallet, I told him. He sighed. We did a lot for you. Remember who co-signed your first car? You co-signed, and I paid every month on time, I reminded him. You're cold lately, he said, like it was a diagnosis. At 3:06 p.m., Lena sent a screenshot from her building's portal, a big red, pending caption. This is literally my home. Then another, a selfie with shiny eyes, the lighting suspiciously tear-adjacent. Why you hate me? I put my phone face down and tried to work. The fraud dashboard blinked numbers. I kept thinking of that phrase Mom used, deserve your bonus. Like I'd won a prize and forgotten it was hers to hand out. Like effort was communal, but rewards were not. By evening, the family group chat was a minefield of opinions. Aunt Vera, we always help our own. Cousin Jade, Lena couch surfing would be humiliating for the family. Mom, Max loves us. He'll do the right thing. It felt like someone had rented a billboard with my name on it and splashed Grinch in bold letters. I drove to their apartment to drop off a toolbox Dad wanted. I didn't want to go up. I did anyway. The building smelled like old carpet and lemon cleaner. Mom opened the door before I even knocked, like she'd been waiting. We can't sleep, she said, her voice heavy with guilt. Just send it, and we'll all move on. Lena hovered behind her, phone in hand. 11. It's specific because of the pet fee. They're being insane. You don't have a pet, I said, a flicker of suspicion. She smiled, a mix of guilt and defiance. We're fostering first. I already got the bed and a tiny blue collar. She held up a bag. A tag dangled. It said Bailey in sparkly letters. He deserves a home. I stared at that tag. Something in me tightened like a wire. I pictured Portugal in my brokerage account, my silly tab, my someday heir. I pictured giving it away for a leash no one had even asked me about. No, I said again. Quiet. Final. Mom's face hardened in a way I'd only ever seen on strangers. You're not family today, Maxwell. You're a calculator. I nodded, because that's what it felt like. Then I turned and left, because I knew the next thing out of my mouth would be something I couldn't take back. The first real hit came the next morning. Not money, but reputation. A screenshot landed in my messages. A group chat with my name in it. Lena, Max says homelessness is a lesson. Aunt Vera, he's been different since he got that job. Dad, money changed him. Mom, pray for his heart. I didn't reply, but I took a screenshot of my own. Transfers from the last 3 years, line after line. $800 for car repair, $1,250 for deposit refill, $400 for an interview suit, $2,000 credit card payment. Only this time, I sent it to Mom and Dad directly. No caption. Mom responded with a single bubble. We didn't ask for those. That was the moment I realized the trap. If I pay, I'm doing my duty. If I don't, I'm cruel. If I already paid, it never happened. By Wednesday, it wasn't just texts. It was pressure disguised as help. Aunt Vera offered to mediate. Jade suggested I do half now, half later. Dad said, take a loan against your bonus if you must. Lena posted a story with a quote. When people with plenty won't share, it's poverty of soul. The comments below were little clapping hands. I kept my head down and watched something inside me shift from guilty to tired, and then finally, to clear. Clarity is quiet. It shows up like a closed door that doesn't need slamming. Thursday night. Family dinner, take 2. I didn't plan to go. Then Mom called and said, come, we need to settle this like adults. Her tone said court date. Not pasta. I brought a folder. Not to be dramatic, but to be precise. When I walked in, the table was set, but no food was out. Dad stood by the window, staring out. Lena had brought backup. Her boyfriend, Tom, who once told me, credit scores are fake constructs. He nodded at me like we were teammates. We weren't. Mom gestured to the chairs. Let's sit. I put the folder down. Before we start, ground rules. No shouting, no scripture, no threats. Just facts. Dad scoffed. Who do you think you are, a judge? I think I'm a man who's paid enough to ask for silence, I said. Lena rolled her eyes. This is creepy, Max. Okay, Mom said, palms up. Facts. I slid out the first sheet. A simple table. Dates, amounts, purposes. Last 3 years, I said. Totals to $19,430 in transfers to Lena, plus another $3,600 in utilities and phone lines I covered when Dad's card glitched. Mom opened her mouth, but I held up a hand. Second sheet. It was a printout from Lena's building website. I'd created a guest account to read the actual notice. Not eviction. Not even a final warning. They asked for a deposit increase of $2,500 because of 2 late payments. I read it aloud. Not 11. Lena blinked. There's also the pet. Pet fees total $500 non-refundable, plus $30 a month, I said. New math still equals less than 11. Tom coughed. You don't know their flexibility. You're right, I said. I called them. Flexibility means you can pay in 2 parts. There's also a hardship form. I slid the form across. Mom's cheeks flushed. You went behind our backs. I went behind the billboard you made with my name on it, I said. Fact 4. I lifted my phone and read from a note. Group chat claims I said homelessness is a lesson. I didn't. Here's what I said to Lena. I turned the screen. Budgets are boundaries, not punishments. Corny, yes. Not cruel. Dad's jaw flexed. Is this about embarrassing us? It's about not being a bank you can rob with a sad face, I said, and my voice shook for the first time. Not with fear, but with the sheer weight of all the times I'd swallowed words. I'm not doing it anymore. Lena tried a different angle, softer. Max, I'm scared. They've been intense. I don't have anywhere else. You have options that start with phone calls you don't want to make, I told her. I pointed to the hardship form. Option 1. Option 2. You sell the designer couch you financed. Option 3. You move to a smaller place. Option 4. You ask the man sitting next to you to contribute more than vibes. Tom lifted his hands. I'm building a startup. So is your barber, from the looks of it, I said, because sometimes pettiness is a vitamin. Mom's voice sharpened. Enough. Your sister deserves your bonus. She's been through so much. You sit on money. Yes, Mom, I nodded. I sit on money because I learned that when I stand on it, you pull the rug. Fact 5. I slid the last page. A simple plan I'd written for myself on Sunday after meatballs. Starting next month, I'm moving. New job lets me go remote. Rent is cheaper. It's time. Silence. Then laughter. Mom's, short and disbelieving. Where? Across town. Lisbon, I said. And before you say that's dramatic, I've been saving for a long time. You just never asked about anything I wanted that wasn't an invoice. Lena squinted. You're not serious. I am, I said. And I've made a decision. My hands were flat on the table, so I wouldn't clench them. I will not transfer $11,000. I will not transfer $2,000. I will not transfer $30. I am not your cushion anymore. If you need help filling a form, I'll help. If you need a budget, I'll sit with you, but I will not fund choices I didn't make. Dad's voice dropped into that warning tone I knew from childhood. Careful how you talk to your mother. Careful how you talk to your son, I said back, and the shock on his face told me he didn't expect me to have a spine. Mom stood up so fast her chair screeched. You're abandoning us. You keep using that word, I said. I think you mean you're not paying. Those are different. Lena slammed her palm on the table. So, you're fine with me getting kicked out? You won't be. You'll fill the form. And if I don't, she shot back. Then you'll learn what rent means, I said. And there it was, the line. I heard how it sounded. Firm. Not cruel. Boundaries always sound mean to people who've benefited from your lack of them. Mom's eyes went glassy. I misraised you. You raised me to fix things, I said. I'm finally fixing the right one. Dad reached for the folder and pushed it back at me like a bad report card. Take your papers. This family doesn't run on receipts. Maybe it should, I said. I slid the folder into my bag, stood, and felt that wire inside me stop vibrating. I didn't feel heroic. I felt tired and clear. On the way out, Lena called after me. You'll regret this when we're not talking. I turned. We haven't really been talking for years. We've been transacting. I left to the sound of Mom saying, we'll get a lawyer, like I'd stolen something. I hadn't. I had just stopped giving. By the time I got home, they'd already drafted a new play, shock and awe. 19 texts. Be reasonable. We raised you. Wire it now, and we'll forget your tone. Aunt Vera chimed in with, you'll never find a wife with that heart. Tom added a thumbs down. Lena sent me her lease PDF with highlighter marks, like she was my manager. I typed one sentence, don't text again. Then I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, sat at my kitchen table, and opened the Portugal tab for the first time, not as a joke, but as a real door. People think decisions are big, dramatic speeches. Sometimes they're quiet tasks done in a row. I made coffee at 9 p.m. and opened 3 tabs. My bank, my broker, my credit cards. I froze every card, not because I was scared they'd take them, but because the habit of access had to end. I set new passwords and 2-factor authentication from a physical key. I disabled Apple Pay on every device. I logged out of anything family shared. Netflix, Prime, the cloud where 100 group photos lived. If that sounds cruel, imagine paying rent while someone borrows your login and then tells cousins you hate birthdays. I listed my couch, my bike, my second monitor, and the espresso machine I'd babied for 4 years. Cash only, I wrote. Pick up tonight or tomorrow morning. My apartment filled with strangers who said, great deal, and left me holding space where things used to be. Each goodbye felt lighter. I pulled out a folder I'd labeled Move with tabs, lease, visa, sim, health. I'd made it 6 months ago in a burst of late-night daring and then tucked it away like a fantasy. Now it was a checklist. I booked a one-way flight for Tuesday. I messaged my manager and said, formal note is coming in the morning, but I'm going remote abroad. I will keep my hours. He replied with a thumbs up and a gif of a sardine can. Portugal is sardines, right? I laughed for the first time that night. Small, surprised mind. I called my bank's fraud line and put a voice password on my profile. No one can call in and cry and reset this, I told the agent. He said, happens more than you think. And I believed him. At 11:43 p.m., I opened the family chat to mute it and saw 50 new messages. The tone had shifted. Lena had gone from sweet to scorched. Max is abandoning us. Max has money and doesn't care. Max is punishing me because he's jealous I have a life. I almost replied with a photo of my empty living room. I didn't. I knew better. The goalpost would move. The scoreboard was rigged. Instead, I wrote privately to Mom and Dad. I am not discussing money by text again. If you need me for anything that doesn't involve my wallet, call after the weekend. Mom replied instantly. We have engaged counsel. Okay, I typed. Please have them email me. I created a filter. If counsel contains at law, label noise. At midnight, I took out a small black notebook where I keep do it even if scared lists. I wrote, sell everything. Mail keys Monday. Cancel gym. Unlock phone for you. Backup photos. Block numbers if they escalate. Remember, I am allowed to have a life. I slept 3 hours. Woke at 4 a.m. to a silent apartment and the faint hum of the fridge, which I'd soon unplug. I made toast on a pan. Packed a suitcase with clothes I actually wear. Left the suit that fits me like a scolding. Took 2 books, my passport, the physical security key, the folder, and a Polaroid of me at the beach in the hat. At 6 a.m., my phone lit up like a slot machine. Missed calls stacked. 12, 28, 52, 92. By 7:12 a.m., for emails from a law office I didn't recognize. Subject lines that said demand and family duty, like those words could make